many people having children, and as soon as they had these kids, or before these kids is even walking, really, they breaking up.
My dumb ass did that stupid shit. And you know what? It was a huge mistake. At that time, I was very, very masculine, right? My husband, he's my husband now. He's the father of my two kids. But when we first had our first son, I did it and I broke up with him as soon as we had our son was maybe like 2 weeks old. I did it because the reality is I was filled with so much trauma and I did not value a two-parent household because I never came from one. So I didn't care about it. I felt like the kid would be okay. Like he cool. He don't need no father. I'm the mother and the father. Being extra as hell, right? I was prepared to do everything on my own. And once you have that baby, not to mention that was both of our first babies together. So I had no idea what postpartum was. He had no idea how to deal with a woman that was going through postpartum, that was emotionally unstable and all over the place. So he just kind of was like, he was done with it. He didn't understand how to deal with it. I didn't understand what the fuck I was going through. And I threw in a towel. Not him. I threw in a towel. And I actually took his son away from him, talking about, I'm about to do all of this on my own, looking stupid as hell. And he was a good father. He is a good father. He was a good man. That's a good man, Savannah. He's a damn good father, damn good provider. And he wasn't going for that. He was not going for that, y'all. He told me straight up, you're not taking my son away from me. If I gotta fight you tooth and nails in the court, I don't give a damn. I will show up every. He wasn't like no deadbeat. I don't give a fuck about that baby. And fuck her in there. It wasn't like. And the only one that called me out on my bullshit was my sister. She was like, "You making a huge mistake doing that. He don't deserve that. That baby don't deserve that. Hell, you don't deserve that. You know what I'm saying?" She was the only one that told me, "Sis, go back and figure it." And with time, you learn each other, you mature, you understand the importance of respect, you understand the importance of love and bringing a child up in a healthy two-parent house. And last but not least, you might not be compatible. You realize you're not compatible for him, or he might not be compatible for you, and then you both come up with the same lame ass excuse. Oh, he switched up, she switched up. No, you just didn't take the time out to really get a chance to know each other. You know what I'm saying? So y'all rolled around in the sack, created a life, and don't give a fuck about it. Neither one of y'all don't really give a fuck about it. Now you just bashing each other all over the place, bashing each other on the internet. It's just so immature. So that's my take on it. That's my 2 cents. I don't know. What y'all think?
So I've heard this word come up about people being compatible, and then as I'm learning, just like the rest of us, right? Are people even truly compatible? I mean, they may align with certain things, but if opposites attract and people coming together, there's work that needs to be done constantly. So are truly compatible? Because when people are looking and they living in a singleness, both men and women, right? What are they waiting for? Because perfection is not going to come. So at what point do you start to look at the core things that's the most important to you, and then you actually figuring it out once you get in? Because marriage is unpredictable, relationships are unpredictable. It's impossible for this person that's not you. Now if you marry yourself, it's a different story, but we're not marrying ourselves. You are marrying and you are getting relationships with people who you have not known. So at some point in time, those differences are going to come out. It's impossible to completely figure out a person and what they're going to be like 20 years from now. So how do we approach this? Because and I get it, some people have trauma, but that goes back to, how are we dating? Are we getting married before we have the children? Are we intentionally having children? We find
So
ourselves hopping into these situations where we're doing the ass backwards, and then we're complaining and upset about the outcomes when a lot of thought wasn't thought about on the front end.
I was listening to I forgot her name, but she had mentioned a really huge factor as to where people are people nowadays are looking for love stories rather than life stories, right? You can create a love story with anybody. You can go on a cruise, come across this bad you did, and man, we gonna have a ball on this cruise. I don't got to get to know you. We just clicking right now, and the sex is great. Oh, everything seems peaches and cream, but the reality of it, once we leave from this cruise, and once life, we go back to real life outside of it, Now we start finding out that there's nothing relatable. This isn't going to work. This isn't going to last. And this was just good right now. You know, you can go to Jamaica and easily find a love story. Stella get a groove back. But once you come back home, that real life, that shit not gonna work compared to your life story, where you're actually investing into this person, where you're getting to know everything about this person and accepting them for their flaws. Because on that cruise in Jamaica, I can come off perfect. She can come off perfect. Oh, she a chocolate thing, titties juicy, ass fat. This the perfect full lips. Hey, this is heaven on earth right here. But as soon as we get back to the crib and I get on the phone with her, man, this broad is a bird brain, right? So now what do you get out of that aside from that love story compared to finding someone that checks the boxes and accepting them with their flaws? The Our biggest downfall, I believe, now is that people are looking for that perfect person. Just how Mistaken said that I'm gonna stay single until I find this perfect person. That's a flaw because nobody is perfect. You saying that, not Mistaken saying that, but the person saying that, you're not perfect. You damn near can't deal with yourself. So we have to be realistic in these situations, in these cases, and actually point it out. Are people looking for a life story, or are they looking for a love story? Because you can have both. You can have one or the other, but one is going to take more work than the other. One is a bigger investment than the other. And some people just aren't willing to do that.
I like that, Viz.
I know one of the things I always talk about. Find out whatever your standards are, and whatever your standards are, you need to stick to them. And as long as the individual who you are entertaining or you are vetting or whatever you want to call it can give you a passing grade. So say you got 10 standards. She need at least to have 7 out of the 10. And the other ones you can work with. You can train her, you could show her, you could teach her, you could educate her. You can make some adjustments maybe to your standards. Maybe your standards are a little bit too high. You know what I'm saying? But if she's fitting those your standards, especially your certain core standards that you don't move off on, as long as she can pass those, fellas, make adjustments. Make the problem. Ladies, you could do the same thing. Find out who you're dealing with. I mean, actually find out. I understand you know, he may be pursuing you and really pushing you to give him up some ass. But if that's part of your standard and that's not what you do, don't give in. And if that means you losing because of it, so be it. It wasn't meant for you to have. You can't move off of your standards if that's what your standards are. You have to stick to them. Do not adjust them. I mean, not saying that don't adjust them, but do not move off of them at all, especially your core ones that you know. I don't want a man who doesn't believe in my religious belief. I'm a Christian. If I'm a Christian and he's a non-Christian, yeah, I can't get with him. That's not going to work for me. Don't make the adjustments. Your man, whole atheist, he don't believe in nothing. No, don't. You're wasting your time. Now, if it's somewhere down the road he decided to get saved and filled with the Holy Spirit, cool, get with him then. But if that's not where he is in life right now, I wouldn't do it.